in the Richmond market than here. Here needs a lot of finesse, and we're going to talk a little bit about that today, because I finally got to the point of running numbers for the first quarter, and we've got some good news and we got some bad news.
All right, so here's the nitty gritty, and we got a bar graph here. You can find this data at realtalkwithkeithsmith.com. He's putting out the data faster than the association is, and I'll leave it at that. The data archived at realtalkwithkeithsmith.com. If you own a house in Charlottesville or Albemarle County, I'll say it again. If you own a house in Charlottesville or in Albemarle County, year over year, your values are down. I ripped off the Band-Aid.
Yeah, so
I had to rip off the Band-Aid there.
Yeah, so the first quarter over quarter. So if we got slide 1 on, so quarter over quarter. So the quarter finishing 2023 versus the quarter in 2022. Now let's be specific. This is single family detached, right? No new construction. And you'll find as I go through, because I go all the way to Buckingham with these numbers and the other side of the mountain. So I wanted some consistency to keep it single family detached. Because
Buckingham got hammered.
Buckingham got hammered big time.
If you bought a house in Buckingham in the last year, you're underwater.
Correct. So Buckingham had a $90,000 hit year over year.
You hear that, Judy?
32%. But we called this, right? We talked about this, right? I mean, we had this conversation, I believe, on one of the shows. I had somebody about a year and a half ago want me to buy an investment property out in Buckingham, and I said, I don't think so. I think when the rubber band starts contracting, that's going to happen. Now, the volume is ridiculously low. It's 7 units, 13 units, right? So that has a lot to do with it. But get back to Charlottesville and Albemarle. That's, again, quarter over quarter. Charlottesville single-family detached took a 5% haircut. So we're about 22.
Charlottesville City.
City itself, single-family detached. But when you go ahead and take a look at what just closed in the last 7 days, and that's where I just don't want folks to start thinking, oh my God, kind of thing. This was I think what happened in Albemarle and Charlottesville was a bit of a hangover, right? If you look at the chart, it's stuff that's north of 400 is maybe a little bit softer in the first quarter. The homes that are under 400 are out, they're quarter over quarter are up on that. So I think its price made a huge difference in the first quarter. But Charlottesville's $100,000 over just this week versus the end of the first quarter. So what's going to happen by the end of the second quarter, you're going to see those numbers reverse and start climbing up. So I think there was a bit of a hangover, a little of a timeout, particularly the 400K and north. This is about 12, 15 hours worth of work digging into to go ahead and do this. But you take a look at it, Greene County was up. Fulvana was flat. Outside of Lake Monticello. Fulvana, Lake Monticello was up. Nelson was up. Waynesboro was up. Augusta was up. Stanton was up. Buckingham was down big time. So, take a look at those numbers. And then on slide number 2, which is really, I think, the impactful part of it, the volumes are just plummeting on the sale. So the number of units that are selling are just down. And you can take a look at the bar. Augusta was the big loser. Was a tremendous drop in Augusta. And we can get into percentages of that. But people like Maggie and some other realtors out there, I'd love them to chime in and see what they think about this. But the numbers are the numbers, and it looks like Albemarle and Charlottesville took a little bit of a haircut in the first quarter. Everybody else did better except for Buckingham, and I'm curious to see how this is going to look into the second quarter. Again, Charlottesville is up this last week, big time by $100,000. Albemarle is also up too.